Hello and welcome back to Misery Loves Mandy, where comedians talk about miserable moments and whether or not they made them into jokes. This week's guest is Chris Porter. He's a Last Comic Standing alumni. He's got tons of specials online that you need to watch because he's very funny. We talked about heartburn in your 40s, the time he got hit in the head with a golf ball that altered his entire life, and the fact that you should not trust a fart. Never trust a fart. How many times do we all have to learn that? So please make sure to like and subscribe, share with a friend, check out the Patreon, and enjoy.
I've got a Jeff on each side. I got
yeah.
two Uncle Jeffs.
I have an Uncle Jeff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that was some names are just like super popular at the time.
Yeah. But now they go the opposite way to where they're trying to be too weird.
Yeah. Like don't name your kid Cinnamon or Harvest.
Ooh, you know what weird name I've loved, probably because Eternal Sunshine, since that's been a while, is Clementine. But there's no good nicknames. I could never do it to a kid. Clemmy, but does it sound like a disease?
It does.
It
sounds like a way you feel.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of clemmy.
And it's not a good feeling.
No. It's like clammy and phlegmy.
Yeah.
I'm clemmy.
Yeah, we don't want that. Well, good thing I'm nowhere close to having kids. My body is, but I'm not.
Oh yeah, no, it's I just got a puppy and that's enough.
That's good. I'm not even ready for a puppy.
I wasn't either. My girlfriend decided her dog needed a friend because it was terrorizing her cats. And then we got the dog and she was like, "That's your dog now," and I was like, "Okay."
Did you get to name it?
It was, so I came up with Mavis, and because after Mavis Staples, the singer. Okay. Because I'm a big Aretha Franklin fan, but I didn't want to call her Aretha because it sounds too much like urethra. And but I'm a big soul music fan, and especially the Staples singers. And Mavis is always, she's a very strong woman, and I thought Mavis would be cool, and it was a hard veto.
Oh no!
It was a hard, fuck.
I was like, oh cool, so your dog's name is Mavis. You're like, no.
No, it is not. Then I wanted to do, because I was trying to stay in that soul singer realm. Who was the next? What was the next one I was going to? Oh, Gladys.
Oh, yeah.
For Gladys. And I thought I've always liked Gladys. Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and especially for a dog.
For a dog. And because I dated a girl a long time ago, and she had a dog named Bernice. And I just thought it was hilarious.
It's so funny.
And that's why she named it that.
Yeah, I like that.
It was kind of funny. So the girl came up with Lucy, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool.
At least you could think like Lucy.
Lucia Ball was kind of where we came from. But also, you can do Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Mm-hmm. But also she just kind of looks like a Lucy. And also being a derelict as a child. Also, Lucy was you could buy a loose cigarette.
Oh, they'd be called a Lucy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, you had to be in a very bad part of town to buy a Lucy.
You've bought some Lucy's?
No, but I've definitely been with friends that did. Because I'd be in the car and they'd come back in. I'm like, why do you have 3 cigarettes?
That's funny.
It's normally frowned upon by good establishments.
Yeah. No, I don't think you could do that I mean, that was the same kind of gas station where you could also buy the stickers for your license plate.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And they You're like, hey, guess what? Registration's good as long as we don't get pulled over and no one looks at it too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like they should do that, but if cigarettes are so taboo now. But like Trader Joe's, where you can just go in and pull out drinks out of 6-packs and take whatever you want.
That's great. They used to do that at the Oaks over on Franklin.
Oh, build your own 6-pack?
I used to
Build
live
your own
right
6-packs,
Yeah, I used to live right there.
Because I used to go, there was this beer called Pliny the Elder, and it was very hard to get. And you'd have to go to the Oaks on Tuesdays.
Is that when they got their shipment?
That's when they got their shipment. And so you'd show up and they'd be like, yeah, we got some. And sometimes you wouldn't. And I would show up with other people because they'd only let you buy 2. Damn. And so I'd show up with my mom when she was in town, and she was like, I'm buying 2 too. But now and then it was crazy. I was at a show in San Francisco, and a guy was wearing a Pliny the Elder sweatshirt. I was like, how much did you drink to get that? And I talked to him later. He's like, I work there. And I was like, no shit. And since then, we become friends. And now he sends me beer every once in a while.
Oh, man.
And the funny thing is, I can't drink beer anymore.
Is it like stomach issues?
It's just like I'll have one every once in a while, and sometimes I'll get away with it. But man, there are so many days I wake up and it's just a fucking river of fire.
Oh yeah.
I'm 45.
It's too soon.
It's but it's also like, yeah, I guess that's the time this shit happens, where you're like, oh, you're gonna start getting heartburn, and
yeah, my mom takes heartburn medicine. And she's like, she gets it so bad with like white sauce. She says, "What do you mean white sauce?"
Oh yeah, cured meats.
Game over.
Because it never fails. Charcuterie and beer go hand in hand. And I smoke too much weed, and so I'll just be like, also cured meats and cheeses are my love language. And so,
wait, how about wine? Like that goes. That's
can't do it.
Because especially wine. I feel like is actually the worst.
But also, wine for me has never agreed with me. Like I've tried to be fancy, and I'll go to wine because my parents and my sister are huge, both food and wine nerds. Okay, and I don't eat vegetables. Don't like weird shit. Like I like nice meals, but it is very down the middle.
Steak and potatoes.
Yes. And like I'll do sushi. Okay. But I won't. But it's like nigiri, like fish and rice. Like it's it. And so yeah, and I would go to these wine tastings with my parents, and I'd be like, and I'd do like 3 of them. I'm like, I don't feel good. This is gross. Yeah. And I would just go home and drink liquor.
Well, beer just makes me look pregnant. I get huge.
Oh, do you?
I'm just like, let's test this out.
Let's give the boyfriend a scare. Yeah. It's like, nah, it's just too many hazies. We're fine.
Oh yeah, especially an IPA. The pants are getting unbuttoned.
You got that Al Bundy.
Oh yeah. Even when I drive, I have to take off because like these dumb, stupid girl pants, they go so high. Like,
yeah.
How am I supposed to drive like this?
But I feel like there was never it's never just regular jeans for girls.
No.
It's never just like guys' jeans.
We can't just have it where it's comfortable.
Because when I was in my 20s, it was a low rise where it was just like I can see the top of it.
Yeah. Britney Spears with a snake. It's
and you're just like, hey, I mean, I'm just trying not to commit an adultery-esque crime. And then they went straight, all the way up. Like DJ Khaled. Just, and I don't get it. And
I would choose high as a female. I would choose high. I think guys don't like high-waisted pants. I've heard.
I think it's not that we don't like them. We're just confused by them. Because we're like, what? Okay. I guess. All right. Guess that's what we're doing. Because the thing about the low-rise jeans was they were very form-fitting. And so you're like, it was fun to look at. Because a woman's figure is beautiful. And
ladies.
And then, with high-waisted jeans, you're like, Does she have a butt? I think she has a butt. But she for sure has a vagina. And
well, you can see the camel toe.
it's so
That's clear.
She is not comfortable. I know that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So guys are just like, we're like puppies. We're just easily confused by things. That's like telling too much. But one time I was getting intimate with a woman and she had like a corset on. And you just look at all these laces doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, and she goes, just leave it on. And I was like, okay, that's what.
I don't even know how to take that off.
Yeah. When the girl's like, we don't have time for this.
Yeah, those went out of fashion for a reason.
Yeah.
We can't breathe or take it off.
Yeah. Spanks are here. Let's live in the now.
There's another weird thing. I don't know if you've noticed at the gym. I don't know why this is a thing. I'm anti it. But they're taking away the front seam on girls' pants.
Okay. Is that to save from camel toe?
Yeah, but it's now you just have a big burger. Like it's just like luckily I don't have a Mondo burger. There's this girl in high school we had a Mondo burger. Like, you got a fat like.
They have bulbous labias.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this just straight fabric there.
Yeah. There it is.
It kind of makes you feel like you're naked. Just not having that seam in the front.
Yeah.
It's just front.
But you are speaking a different language. Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to empathize, but I don't.
Pull up a pants, say girls leggings, no seam in front. It's so weird. It's all that there is now. Yeah, that's probably it. Pull that baby up. This is probably another Kim Kardashian problem. See, no seam in the front.
Oh, yeah.
So then when you
it's
wear
got a kind
it,
of a Barbie doll.
Yes, it looks like a Barbie doll
Oh,
pussy.
I have seen those.
That's all of them now.
But the problem is that now you have the outside line.
Yeah.
And so now you're just... It's just screaming vagina.
It's yelling. Look at my
vagina.
vagina. And then the ass is scrunched in the back, and it's like, but also look at my ass.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy out there.
And that's hard, especially for a guy that has a girlfriend and you're walking down the street and with your girl, and then a girl wearing that walks by. You're not looking at it for like sexual reasons.
Yeah.
You're genuinely confused. You're like, I just don't, what is happening? And then she hits you. And you're like, no, I don't. It's just, I was trying to comprehend the things that I saw.
There's no front seam. She's like,
I don't understand. So yeah, it's stuff like that. I feel like the solution caused more problems.
Yes, I agree. I think there'll be a complaint. So maybe it'll go back.
Yeah, I was at Universal Studios not too long ago, and there was a lot of that going on. Mm-hmm. The women's with the yoga pants, you wear them everywhere.
Yeah, they're so comfortable until they took our front seam away.
They took your front, but like you can wear them to dinner.
Yeah, you can dress them up.
You can dress them down. Like I can't do that with sweatpants. Even if I wear the nicest sweatpants with the nicest shirt, I just look like a rapper's assistant. Like I can't.
That's so true.
Yeah, you just like show up and you're like, I'm just trying to be comfy and fashionable.
Yeah, the most you can do is the matching sweatsuit outfit.
Yeah, and I'm just not that guy.
Yeah.
Like I love Aviator Nation, that brand.
Oh my God, I just got one of their sweatshirts from doing a show there.
They're so comfy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but you can't. I'm not wearing I can't wear if you're wearing Aviator Nation pants, you can't wear the top. Like I don't want to walk out looking like I just got Aviator Nationed.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely a look.
Yeah, so I can't because too much Aviator Nation, and you do look like you sell coke.
Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I guess girls have that. We've got the leggings.
Yeah. And also the problem with Aviator Nation is that it is unisex, but some of it's not. Mm-hmm. And I always, when I go to buy something, I flip through to make sure they have a picture of a dude wearing it.
Oh, smart.
Yeah, because sometimes I bought the white hoodie because I liked it. I thought it was good looking, and I saw a dude wearing it in the picture. And to this day, I've seen 8 people wearing it, and none of them were men except me.
You wear yours though.
I wear mine. I rock the
You're
fuck out of mine.
representing.
Yeah. But women walk by like, fucking, what an asshole.
It's mine.
It's mine. No, and the first person I saw wearing it was a 12-year-old Asian girl, and I was just like, oh,
man.
I might have overshot this.
Nah, no one's thinking it. No one's thinking it. But yeah, that's the softest clothes I've ever worn.
Yeah, no, I want to do that show just to.
Same.
Because I'm already spending so much money there. I should get a freebie.
You should definitely.
I've told some jokes there, and I'll tell you what, they did not think I was funny.
What?
The staff. I haven't done the show there, but I'm in there. I'm like, hey, this and that. They're like, fucking.
Aw,
My girlfriend.
we'll get you on the stage.
Pulling
Yeah, you
me
get the
out.
hook.
Yeah. Over there, it's just a surfboard, and they get you with the fin and just pull you off.
Yeah, or they just fake laugh.
Wave of water.
Yeah. They fake laugh until you buy something, and then they're straight faced.
That
Get
whole Abbott Kinney area is fun, and just there's not a store in there that won't break you. Like, you just walk, and you're like, I remember I put on this shirt, and I was like, oh yeah, and I looked at the price tag, and I was just like, God,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Every store on that street.
Every store.
And people are walking around with bags. I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, I should have been an investment.
I'm only here because I went to the beach and it's cloudy.
I can barely afford the coffee.
I just smell salt and straw and tell myself not to go in.
Yeah.
That's what
You're
I
out there
go
just
to
smelling.
Abbott Kinney. It smells so good. Like, this is all wrong. Oh, you know what I did Saturday for the first time in years? I went to a CrossFit class.
Oh, good for you.
Because I was in San Diego doing shows, and my best friend lives there now, and she teaches CrossFit. So she was like, you have to come do a class. It was so nostalgic being back.
Oh, have you not been back? You just work out at the gym?
Yeah. Well,
But you were a big CrossFit person for a while?
for a long time.
Because I've noticed on some of your reels when you're lifting, you're doing a lot of Oli and stuff.
Yeah. So then I did CrossFit. Then I did, have you ever heard of Barbell Brigade downtown?
Yeah.
It's like a big weightlifting gym. So I went there for a long time when I was like my transitioning out of CrossFit. And then now I just work at a regular gym. But it was great being back. I don't think I would fully ever go back, but it was fun.
I work out at a friend's garage.
Oh, yeah. You told me that. I forgot.
So during the pandemic, he put a box in his garage.
Nice.
And we just never stopped. And I just subscribed to a website that does programming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty great because there's like different levels. During the quarantine, I was doing it with my buddy, and he had like the elite athlete, like training for the games kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was like every day was 2 hours. And it wasn't, you weren't just doing cleans or snatches. You would have to do like 10, like just shoulder things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. And then 10 of, and
I know exactly what you mean.
like where they just break every lift. And you're
Yeah.
like, buddy, I don't have to, like when the quarantine was happening, I was like, I have all the time in the world.
Yeah,
Let's
there's
do
nowhere
this.
to
As
be.
soon as we got back to work, I'm like, you have an hour. Let's figure it out. And
Yeah.
So since then, I've calmed it down a little bit, but my girlfriend sees pictures of me right around the end of the quarantine. She's like, that's a vibe. I'm like, yeah, all I did was lift and eat chicken for
Right?
fucking 3 months.
It was so easy then.
Yo, everyone had abs during the quarantine. When we had nothing to do, it's easy to get abs. But this is life, lady. These are milkshakes and happiness.
I know. At the end of the quarantine was the best shape I've ever been in, and I don't know if I'll ever get back there.
You don't have the time.
No.
Because literally during the quarantine, the only time you got to go outside was to go to the gym. And you're like, I'm going to be here for 2 hours, and I'm going to do everything I can because all I can do is go back home and make more chicken.
Yeah.
And watch Tiger King.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch the new one? I didn't finish yet. The ape one?
The chimp crazy
one, yeah.
Is it chimp crazy?
Chimp crazy.
Everyone's telling me about it, and I don't know. The one, a friend of mine said there's like one, like within the first 3 minutes, there's like a chimp with like a rope around its neck, and I don't think I can handle that. Like they weren't hanging it, but they were just like leading it around, and I don't know. At my older age, I'm not into. I don't know. When you were younger and you saw an animal get hurt, I guess there was like some humor to it. and now as an adult, you're just like, he just wants food.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't watched Chimp Crazy yet. I don't think I'm into it.
You're not missing much. I just watched the first episode and then I stopped. But I think they're just trying so hard to redo Tiger King. I'm like, Tiger King worked because we were all home.
We were all home, and also that was just a one-off anomaly of craziness, where like it was a world that we never heard about. Like I didn't know there was a big cat world.
No.
Let alone a park you could go to in Oklahoma with some Dog the Bounty Hunter looking dude. But yeah, it did work because we were home. And that's the thing about Netflix. It's like Instagram or any of that. It's like you just never know what's going to catch fire when. I mean, ask Bert, ask Matt. Like it's just one day you wake up and you have a 2-year tour, and it's crazy.
You never know.
And that's why we're all out there just throwing all the content we can.
Oh my God. I had someone comment yesterday. They go, "You keep posting the same jokes. Do you have new jokes?" And I was like, yeah, but they're not ready to be thrown out online. So for now, you're getting the same jokes.
Remix.
I'm like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. But also, who knows when this pee joke is gonna fucking nail it.
It's crazy. I post the same jokes just from different shows because it only it shows like mostly non-followers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what does it matter? I'm just embarrassed by the 10% that see. Is it worth caring?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
You were also real good when you did your sketch. I liked your sketches.
Oh, I loved them too. Thank you. Algorithm hated them.
Oh, really?
I tried for a year to 2. And I posted regularly. I never missed. I did it 3 days a week. Never. I had 2 videos that hit.
Yeah.
Out of 2 years. No follower gains, even from the 2 that hit.
Really?
And then the second I started doing stand-up videos, I gained a bunch of followers.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And I'm like, I guess you can't do everything you want to do.
Yeah, living the dream doesn't mean your dream.
Yeah.
It's their dream.
Their dream.
So,
and if you cut up, you have, how many specials do you have? Like 6 or with your albums and specials?
Yeah, like the first one, Scream from the Cosmos, is so old. Like, I mean, I should cut it up and put it out there, but I think people would be like, who is this person? They'd be like, this guy. They would generally be like, this guy's trying to be Chris Porter. Like that's
so funny.
That is me. That is me at 26. And yeah, I'm also at the age. I'm also at the age now where like comics I respect are. They saw me when they were starting, and like that. I don't think anything makes me feel older. And when Sam Morrell comes up to me, he was like, "Man, when I first started, I saw you."
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." I thought we'd started at the same time.
That is crazy. Because out here, like, you, like, look at everyone kind of like the same age.
Yeah, you really, I mean, until the grays start to poke in and stuff. Yeah, but, like, a lot of times you'll meet be talking about someone and someone will be like, they're 54, right? And you're like, what?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's, I remember the first time I found out how old Josh Wolf was. I was just like, I was fucking, because we were in Last Comic Standing together, and
he was in your season?
He was on my season, and we were getting ready to do something, and he was like, yeah, bro, I'm this old. I mean, I was 25, so he was probably near 40, and I was like, wait, you're 40 years old? You look like a young Kirk Cameron, because he did at the time. And but yeah, it's just also.
But even now, he doesn't like.
He doesn't look 54.
If you told me he was 40 now, I would like be like, yeah.
But no, he's 54.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he wears it well.
Man, that's impressive.
So
it's a white dude too.
But also, I think there's something that there's something to say for living a life where you're doing what you want to do. And because I see some of my friends that I grew up with that just got stuck in a job that they really don't like, but they got a family and they got to deal with it, and they're fucking old as shit.
I think the same thing. Like all of my friends from back home, I'm like, you don't look my age, or like you look so much older than my friends out here that are way older than you.
Or they come out and they're like, hey man, you look great. You're like, fucking, you're here. You're here. I see you. But also, I don't even think it's out here. Like, I have friends in Kansas City that, like, I have my buddy Kurt who followed his passion and, you know, did what he wanted to do. And that dude looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, that probably is the through line of what it is.
Yeah, it's doing what you want to do and, you know, and being successful at it. There's a lot of people that do what they want to do and don't have the public or the self-awareness to realize they're terrible at it.
There's a lot of that.
There is a lot. I mean, go to, like, you've been at open mic nights for 9 years. It's time to pack it in.
Right? I don't know. Some people, then I'm like, maybe they just have fun doing it.
Well, and there's a level, like, look, if you're that guy or that girl that's just like, I don't take this shit seriously. I just want to do open mics. I want to come out here. I don't want to pursue it as a career. That's great. But when you've been doing it for like 12 years and you're like, no, this is what I want to do. I'm going to make it. It's okay.
Well, the problem is so many people, and I didn't really start doing this until after the quarantine. So I started in 2013 doing stand-up. And not until after COVID did I start looking at it as like, oh, this is a business now. I have to put on the business cap and be like, how am I going to actually start making money?
And, you know, I was very fortunate to, like, my generation was probably the last generation that had you could afford to, like, show up to the Improv wasted and, like, you'd get away with it. Like, they thought it was funny. Like, there was a time Thursday nights at the Improv were nuts.
Really?
Like, every comic was there. It was after Drew and Friends. And, you know, Anthony Clark, Nick Swartzen, like, all these cats would be just hanging out. And, you know, you would just, there was like, that back corner was all comics.
Damn.
And it was just like the place to hang out. And, you know, like anything, everyone grows up, times fade away. And, you know, it's not, it definitely, every club has its nights. But, man, there for a while in the late 2000s, it was, the Improv was nuts. And, yeah, it's weird to, like, see how everything changed. And, like, because then it became a Comedy Store.
I was going to say, to me, like, the party place now would be the Comedy Store.
But and the Comedy Store was huge right before the quarantine. Before the pandemic hit, like, you would show there up on any given night, and it would be every comic you've ever heard of, some 20-year-old chick waiting for Chris D'Elia, and then fucking, and then, and you know, it'd be weird, but it was like a party, and then, you know, the quarantine crushed that, and I guess it's starting to make a comeback.
It took a while.
It took a long, well, and I think it took a long while for, like, L.A. to bounce back, as I think with any city, because there's still not like the late night food that you used to be able to get before the quarantine.
I know.
It's still not like, you used to rage in this town. Like, the bars would close at 2, and then it would be like, what's next? And now it's like, granted, I'm getting older, but I also I go to the clubs and stuff, and it's like everybody at midnight's like, ugh, so tired. Like, oh, good. I've been posting all week. And,
like, editing.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, my generation had to work harder, but also didn't have to work as hard all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had to work harder because you had to actually, like, have the talent to be seen in public.
Yeah, you had to work hard, be seen in public, and also, like, you'd have to, like, if you wanted to get passed by a club, you would have to, like, especially when I started in Kansas City, you would have to, like, if I wanted to go perform in Omaha, I would have to go to the open mic in Omaha.
Damn.
And, you know, you'd bring a friend, and you'd both try to get up. You'd hope the manager was there that booked it. But if not, you would have to do well enough that the staff was still talking about you the next day.
Wow.
And, you know, you'd leave your number with some, you know, the head waitress or whatever.
And just hope.
And, or the worst was sending them VHS tapes.
Oh my God.
Because it would take you so long. Like, no one had dubbing equipment. You'd record it, you'd put it on VHS, and then you'd have to find a friend that had a VCR you could borrow and record it. And then you'd have to ship it to the guy. All of this cost like $90, and then the guy would never watch it.
I was going to say, that sounds expensive.
Yeah, and then you'd call the guy and be like, I haven't watched tapes yet. And then you'd go into his office, and there'd just be tapes, just stacks of them. And
damn.
And you'd be like, yeah, I'm a little behind. And you're like, yeah, it's because you've been doing coke with the wait staff.
Every night.
Every night. And now it's like, oh, I'd love to do your club. Well, send me your Instagram. And here's everything. And they'll be like, yeah. 4 seconds later, they're like, yeah, you look great.
Ugh,
yeah.
So much easier.
And so, but also, on the flip side of that, you know, you could ride an hour for 5 years back in the day. Because no one ever saw you.
Yeah.
And now it's like 18 months, bitch. And that's all you got.
That's what it seems like. I was doing this morning like radio show where every morning for 2 months I was studying comedians, and I would like see how the gap, and it seems like it was a year to 2 years everyone between specials. Like it's quick.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time, and it's it's because there are so many people, and it's because there's so many. What's great about it, about having so many outlets, is you definitely are the captain of your own ship, and you can definitely make waves if you need to. Like back in the day, there were a lot more gatekeepers. You had to. The clubs were just beginning. There were only 3 late night shows, and they only did like 14 comics a year.
Damn.
So and 5 of those comics were Jerry Seinfeld and whoever else. And so it was hard for a long time, and it's still hard. Not that it's easy; it's just more accessible. I think.
Different.
Yeah, but it's also the flip side of all that is the Tonight Show doesn't do anything for you anymore.
Isn't that crazy? I just had Fumi Abe on, and he did the Tonight Show. He's like, I got more from my Don't Tell than I got from the Tonight Show.
Well, it's because you're on for 4 minutes and never seen again, and you're also on at the end. So it's like, yeah, it's more of a feather in the cap.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be the coolest thing ever. But I guess you just can't. You just have to enjoy it and not expect anything.
Yeah, like I did, and I've done Arsenio and I did Kimmel, but I did Kimmel at Kimmel's Club like 3 months before they ever aired it.
Okay.
So, like, I never really got the late night experience. The Arsenio Hall show that I did, like, they literally called me day of.
No way.
For the second time. The first time I couldn't do it. The second time they were like, you want to come do Arsenio today?
What?
And I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm not doing anything.
Holy shit.
And so they called me over there. They didn't even ask for my set until like 4 o'clock. And then I sent them a set that I wanted to do that I never thought they'd let me do. And I sent them another set that I thought they'd let me do. And they're like, no, you can do that other one. I was like, great.
Cool.
And I did it with the basketball. Like the guests were Columbus Short right before he went nuts, the Basketball Wives, and then me. And the Basketball Wives, one of the girls was wearing a top so revealing that they stopped production.
What?
And were like, hey,
no way,
you're showing too much boob. Can we do something about that? And she just went, yeah.
Yeah, the hair trick.
Put the hair in front of her boobs. So, not that you could ever find it, but if for some reason they ever put all the Arsenio Hall shows on YouTube, if you ever watch that episode, her boobs are blurred out like they're confessing to a crime of some sort or bearing witness. They're just like her boobs' voice had to be modified to hide their identity.
Yeah, it's a deep voice.
Yeah, it's just brr, 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 brr. And so yeah, it was a rough show to be a part of.
Wait, but how was your set?
My set went well, but by the time I got out there, they were just begging for something that made sense. Because Columbus Short came out and decided he wanted to sing. But the problem is when you're on one of those shows, they have to clear all the music. They have to get permission. So they're like, well, the only song we have the rights to is the Arsenio Hall theme song. And he goes, that's cool. I'll put words to the Arsenio Hall theme song.
What?
Yeah. So there's no rehearsal. He's like, I got it. So they give him a microphone, and they're like, head on out there. And I'm like, this is why they called me day of. Like, they have zero idea what's going on. And they put him out there. Columbus did not rehearse either. He was like, I'll just wing it. And it did not go well. And then the Basketball Wives came out.
And her tits.
And the boobs that had witnessed a crime. And then after that, they had this game. There was during the breaks, they always talk to the audience and stuff that they never air. Well, they found this old black dude. He had a fucking Huxtable Cosby sweater on, and he was just funny. He was just a naturally funny guy. Every time they asked him a question, he'd say something that was very funny. And so they go, hey, we're going to do this game. Do you want to be a part of it? And he's like, no, I don't want to be on TV. And they're like, please come down, be a part of it. He's like, I just don't want to do it. Well, long story short, they nudge him until they finally get him down there. So then he just gets on. They start airing, and he's like, yep, nope.
He didn't want to be on air.
He didn't want to be on air. And so it was like just this giant fuck you to Arsenio Hall.
Damn.
And then they're like, well, here's Chris Porter. And I come out, and I'm full hair, bell bottoms, crushed velvet jacket. And they're like, what the fuck is happening? And I come out, and I did real well. It was a great show. And then I remember, that's it. That's actually a video. That's the there's me.
There you are. Look at that hair.
And look at that jacket.
Look at that jacket.
Yeah, you're looking fresh.
And I came out, and I just remember Arsenio after the show was like, that was great. We'll have you anytime. And then 2 weeks later, I opened for him, or we worked together at the Comedy Magic Club, and
cool.
he didn't know who I was.
Aw. He was like, let's not remember this
He
night.
literally brought me up, and he goes, this next guy, I've never seen him before, but I heard he's really funny. Give it up for Chris Porter. And I walked out, I was like, I was on his show 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Like at one point during the set, I look over and Arsenio's dying. So it's not like I ate. It's not like he didn't think I was funny. But yeah, it was just funny for him to come up to me. He's like, buddy, anytime you can come on my show. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, never seen you.
Oh my God.
That's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah. You want to move here? Have fun. That's crazy. So then the Jimmy Kimmel was when you did they do the batch before filming.
They do
a bunch of
it was me,
comedians?
Gina Brion, and Todd Glass. And Gina went up first, and then I went up. And I'm doing well, and then halfway into the set, shit takes a turn.
Another craziness?
Yeah, and I'm like, what's happening? But it's TV, and at that point, I'd done enough television to where I'm like, well, you just got to keep going. They'll fix it in post. We'll figure it out. And I get off stage, and the lady that runs the club walks up to me, and at this point, her and I are good friends. She goes, I'm so sorry. I go, what happened? She goes, in the middle of your set, a man stood up to go to the bathroom and then just collapsed.
Oh my God.
And the entire audience saw it, but knew they couldn't react because they were filming on television.
But they were reacting by not laughing.
Yeah, everyone's like, huh? Is he okay? Is he okay?
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, is what it is.
So did they add laughs or let you redo it? Or do you remember
No, they definitely
happened?
didn't let me redo it. They just... it's been so long since I've seen the show that I don't remember, if you can tell. The one that I can really tell is my Comedy Central Presents.
Oh, no.
I was sick the day we filmed it. It was also I'd just been introduced to coffee.
Oh, so
I knew it existed. I knew it existed, but I just I didn't really drink it.
Okay.
And so I started with these lattes, and so. At the beginning we filmed in New York City. At the beginning of the day, I'm sick, and I drink this triple latte, and I feel great. And the whole day I feel fine. And then about 5 o'clock, we film at 6. About 5 o'clock, I'm starting to feel bad again. So a normal person would have gotten a single latte to carry them through the night. But Chris didn't know that. Chris had just been introduced to coffee, so Chris gets another triple latte.
Oh God.
At 5 p.m. I go to film. I am raring.
I'm sure.
I am raring to go. I'm I feel like I'm nervous. I'm in the dressing room smoking as much weed as I can because I'm like, I need to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my turn to shoot. I come out there. I'm doing the show. I think it's going well. But I know I'm hot and I know I'm sweating. And on my teleprompter, all I have is my set list. It's like 7 words. Then it's static. It's just supposed to sit there. The whole shit. In the middle, I'm like 10 minutes in, and all of a sudden it disappears.
No.
And they're typing, live. while I'm on stage. They're like, it just says towel. And I'm on stage like, yeah, I got a towel. All right. Anyway. Kid just drenched.
So they're telling you to like wipe off.
Yeah,
right?
so that goes away.
Okay.
And it says you're sweaty. Use the towel. Like it's so so I go back and I use the towel and I do the set. And I remember at the end of the show, I said goodnight and I was the only person that didn't get a standing ovation. And I thought I did really well. And then like literally 10 years later, I watch it. It's on late at night on Comedy Central, and I'm in a hotel room, and I watch it, and I'm like, I look like I'm coked out of my mind.
Oh,
I'm talking
God.
so fast because I'm just ripped up on coffee. I'm just like,
and sick.
oh yeah, and I sound like I'm selling cattle. and and at the end of the show, I was like, yeah, they probably didn't even hear me say goodnight. I was like, I'm in the tree trying to hang you.
So no one stood.
No one stood. They were just like, did he say goodnight? What the fuck was that? And yeah, it was.
How old are you there?
That's 2009. So I'm 31.
Okay.
Yeah, 31.
So you started drinking coffee late in life.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't drink it for a long time. And then it was, you had to do something to counteract the weed and then for, back in the day for the late shows, it was kind of standard fare. Like you'd show up. We have one of the few jobs that you show up and they're like, hey, you need a drink. Mm-hmm. And most of the time I'd be like, yeah. And I would show up, first show, start drinking. And then, especially when I was young, the bartenders always thought they were hooking you up by giving you a rum and Coke that is 98% Captain Morgan and a splash of Coke.
Do you not understand what my job is?
Yeah, but you're 20. I was 24 at the time, so I'm like, I'm not a pussy. Yeah. So by the second show, I was on fire. And so after years of that, your body needs something. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I started drinking coffee in my 30s and it's good. And now I don't drink like I can't drink like I used to.
No 6 shots of espresso.
No 6 shots. But that was also, I probably had 9 beers at the,
yeah.
Just being young was I had a lot of fun in my younger years.
I couldn't imagine like getting like that big, that young. Like that.
Well, it went away really fast. This is what you learn about Last Comic Standing. Aside from like Ralphie May, really, and some of the winners. Like if you're just a cast member, when they come see you in that year afterwards, they're really going to see the show. Yeah. They're basically going to see the adult version of Sesame Street Live. They're like, I've been watching this on TV. Now it's here in my town. I'm going to go see it. Yeah. But as soon as that next season starts, they don't give a fuck about last year's Big Bird.
That's
yeah.
No.
So, and that was a hard thing to kind of come to terms with.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, am I not funny anymore?
Yeah. Why don't they
I was selling tickets last year and I'm just as funny.
Or you're getting better and better. That's even harder.
And you're like, none of these people are showing up. And it's like, oh, it's because they're watching Amy Schumer and Eliza now. Like they don't care about even Eliza, she won Last Comic, but she didn't become big until War Paint. I mean, War Paint's what made her fucking Eliza. Now, granted, Last Comic is probably what got her War Paint, but still. That's what you got to realize about shows like that is like, aside from a few, like, and the same goes for American Idol. Like,
you get your tour after.
But you hadn't heard shit from Justin Warini till them Dr. Pepper commercials.
I saw that.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, but you got Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson's the biggest thing on planet Earth.
But he was the winner that season, right? Or
no,
was he second?
He was second.
Okay.
and it's like, and Ralphie got second on the first season to Dat Fan, but that was a grandma vote, and that shook itself out in the ether. But then you got guys like John Heffron who won season 2, and Alonzo, who a lot of people don't know this, won season 3 because it got canceled.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and so, and Josh does well. He won my seat, Josh Blue. But yeah, you just, and that's not something I knew at the time. I wasn't like at 27, like, oh, they're just fans of the show. That's something I realized at like 11 years later, like smoking weed. I was like, oh, that's what that was. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And so, yeah, you live and you learn.
I always one thing I push it away, but like one of my like negative thoughts is like, I notice like everyone who's pretty much like an A-lister has been on a show when they were younger.
Yeah. I mean, it helps, but also there's a lot of people that have been on shows that are at rehab right now. like it definitely comes and goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is Mario Lopez famous? No one will ever know. No one will ever know. Should he be? Probably not. But God bless him. He still shows up, and he he's on my hotel screen almost every week.
He is.
When
he's there.
Some people are not. You just.
He was the only one who survived Bayside. The rest of them are a little.
Well, Mark's fine. I think Mark and Tiffany Amber Thiessen, I think genuinely just like removed herself from the
she's
ether.
actually doing great and has a cookbook shit.
She has a cookbook stuff, yeah.
She's doing great.
and Zach Morris does like cop shows here and there. But I used to open I worked with Screech a couple times. I would say I opened for him, but I was doing a vast portion of the work.
My welcome to Hollywood moment was showing up to help someone do auditions at their house and their roommate answering the door, and their roommate was Mr. Belding.
No shit.
That's funny. What?
All right. He's in the guest house. Cool, Mr. B.
When I first moved out here, I was friends with Puck from The Real World. That was not an act on the show. He's a fucking lunatic. Like, Puck's the only dude that ever called me and was like, sorry, bro, I've been in jail for like 6 months. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, so we doing lunch or? And that was just one of those friendships that fell by the wayside. But yeah, it was definitely a weird thing just being at Mel's and being like, this is, and also people going, hey, it's fucking Puck. And you're just like, I'm Chris. I'm from Kansas.
Oh, wow, the time is flying by.
What up?
Whoa. I guess we could wrap up the last portion with I know I sent you the segments late, but I mean all of your stories. Some people's stand-up stories are not embarrassing or stories from their real life, but I feel like most of your jokes are pulled from your your real life.
Yeah.
Are there any stories that stand out of embarrassing or miserable moments that you turned into a joke, or any moments that you didn't either want to make as a joke or just don't work or you can't get them to work yet?
The one that I've had trouble making work is I got hit in the head with a golf ball as a kid and had to have brain surgery.
That's crazy.
And I was up until that hit, I was on a path to go into the Navy. I'd already met with recruiters, pretty much signed all the paperwork.
Damn. I
was going to do ROTC. They were going to pay for my college. I was going to do the officer program, the whole thing. And I was even trying to get into the Naval Academy, which was not going to happen. But I was going to give it that old naval try. Mm-hmm. And then I get hit in there with a golf ball, have to have brain surgery, and get disqualified from all of that. And I've tried to because there is humor in the fact that I was genuinely on this honorable path.
That is really funny.
And then I go play golf with my mom, and now I'm this guy that just does drugs and drinks and has fun and doesn't work for a living by most people's meters, including my girlfriend's. So, I do have a very fortunate life in the fact that I work 6 hours a weekend. I make a very good living, and then Sunday to Thursday are pretty much my own, and I'm very lucky with that. But yeah, I was going into the Navy. I would have graduated college and gotten out of boot camp August of 2001.
Oh, wow. Like if you did the full thing.
I would have done I would have literally gotten out of officers training just in time to watch the world change.
Oh my God.
And been like, oh, because you got to realize in the 90s, they were like, come join the Army or the Navy. Everything's fine. Like you'll see the world. You'll fix some planes. Nothing's ever going to happen.
Free school.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And then had that path continued, I would have been, granted, I was in the Navy. I would have been on a boat just watching it from a distance. But
I'm sure you would have seen shit.
I'm sure I would have seen shit. But yeah, so it's just weird how that all, because it definitely did change everything. It made me go to college, and then that's when I got the phone call from my friend that said he was going to try stand-up comedy, and that's what led me to doing stand-up comedy.
Really?
And so it's like just this weird. And so, yeah, I've tried to make that funny. And it's most of the people are like, that's sad.
I think there's definitely humor in the fact of how that switched your life fully. But I want to know more about how did the golf ball hit you? Like what was
so we're on a par 4. It was a dog leg right. So if you don't, what a dog leg means is it goes right, which to the cameras would be this way. So like if this is the right, I was standing here waiting for my mom to hit, who was in the middle of the fairway. This old man apparently had shit to do and decided he was just going to hit around my mom, but didn't see me and bounced his drive off my temple.
Oh my God.
Well, it was just above it. They said if it would have hit me here, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Damn.
But yeah, so cracked my skull, so it caused the brain to bleed, and then so I had a knot. And then the knot went away because the blood started to clot between my brain and my skull. And that fucking hurts.
I'm sure.
And so I remember I got home. You know, my mom's not a doctor. She was on the phone with, on hold trying to figure out what her next move was. And I'm talking to my friend on the phone, and he's like, buddy, you don't sound right. Like,
oh, no.
And this is a high school kid going, fucking, you don't sound good. And so I went downstairs. I was like, maybe I should go to the hospital. And Mom's like, yeah, let's go. And went in. They did the CAT scan. And the neurosurgeon was just ice cold. The way he said things was like, hey, man, we got to get in there and get this thing. Just want to make sure it's cool if make sure you want to have the surgery. And I was just like, well, I mean, because he didn't make it sound like that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, man, let's just wait. Football starts in 2 weeks. Let me get through football and we'll do it at the end of the season. And he just starts laughing. And he goes,
oh my God. Can you imagine him knowing he knows you saying that?
Yeah. And he's just like, wait, what? And he's like, no. He goes, buddy, if you don't have the surgery, you're not gonna be here tomorrow.
Holy shit.
And I'm out of my mind at this point. And I go, yeah, man, we'll leave. Yeah, man, if we're not having the surgery, I'll just go home. And he's like, fucking buddy. He's like, if you go home, your brain's going to continue to bleed. The blood's going to continue to clot. And it's going to he goes, you're going to die the worst pain death anyone's ever died ever. And I was like, oh, then why are we, and I was like, why are we even talking about it?
Why'd you ask?
Why'd you ask? Like, you should just be like, we need to have surgery. Let's go. Mm-hmm. And he was like, and that was kind of the end of my memories of that whole situation.
Oh,
and then
my God.
Woke up the next morning, and I just remember my dad was sitting there reading the paper because it was 1995. and I woke up and I looked at the clock, and it was 4, but it was an analog clock. So I looked at him, I go, it was 4 a.m. or 4 p.m.? He goes, 4 a.m. I go, then what the fuck are you doing here? Mm-hmm. He just starts like, he goes, you're my son. Like, I'll make sure you're okay. And I was like, I could have called you. And so yeah, it was a weird experience. It shifted my life completely, and it was probably the best thing to ever happen to me.
Does your friend who made that call to you about doing stand-up, did he keep pursuing it?
No, he did it for like My buddy had his entire career in a 6-month span where he started doing stand-up comedy, did well a couple of times at open mic, said, fuck this, I'm moving to L.A. Moved to L.A. with one of our buddies. They were out here for 3 weeks when they decided, fuck this, we don't like it here, and moved home.
No way. It's usually not that fast.
No, 3 weeks. They moved out here and like they got an apartment. Like in that like 3 weeks, like the first night they were in town, they got pulled over and then guns drawn on them.
Holy shit.
Because our buddies, who was named Daniel Loomis, they spelled it a different way. Like he didn't have his ID or something. Somehow, some way, there was a case of mistaken identity. And they thought this dude was like a for real criminal, and they drew down on him. And so then they got their apartment, and they didn't have electricity set up, so they were literally running electricity from their neighbor.
Oh, no.
And then moved back home. And then I think he quit comedy like 4 weeks later. And then 15 years after that, he got a hold of me. He's like, I want to try stand-up again.
No way.
And I was like, okay. And I just so happened to be doing this, like, I was doing a favor for a friend, and I was doing a show in Kansas City in like the basement of a wing joint. And I was like, you can for sure do this gig. And he came out, and it was just gross. And he held the mic like way down here, so you didn't even hear what he was saying. And he was up there way too long. And,
oh, wow. He kept going?
And then I think a week or two after that, I got a text from him that said, I'm moving to Germany with this girl. And you're the only one who knows. Please don't tell anyone for a few days till I get there. And then like 2 days later, I got a text from another one of our friends like, you talked to Adams? I was like, funny enough. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? And yeah, he texted me not too long ago. But yeah, he's, you know, you just have those people in your life that you don't see forever, and then they just pop up, and you're like, oh, you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's definitely that dude.
Well, it's good you guys are still friends. I mean, thank God he asked if you want to try stand-up.
Oh, yeah. He could not hit on my gay cousin again. That'd be super great. Kind of misread that one.
Did he not know? Or
No.
did he know?
He did not know.
Okay.
He did not know, but also she doesn't hide it. Like when she told me, when she came out, she was like, yeah, I'm gay. I was like, yeah, I know.
It was a clear.
Yeah, I was like, you haven't had a boyfriend in 7 years. Yeah,
We figured.
I figured it out. Like,
This dude's hitting
I'm
on
all,
her.
and I'm super happy for you. But yeah, you're not blowing my doors off with that one.
Oh, man. Well,
Oh yeah.
she's not going to get him. So weird. That's crazy. That's the golf ball one. That sucks though, because it's such a good story.
Yeah, it's just never, and maybe, granted, I've only tried to put a spin on it a few times. I think it's just one of those things that seems like a better story than anything. Yeah, it's just, you know, some things just don't translate.
Man, I just started golfing. Now I'm terrified. Did you ever go golfing after
Oh,
that?
I golf all the time.
Okay.
I had a golf lesson yesterday.
Really?
Well, the funny thing was, when I went back to get my stitches out of my head, you know, you're 17 and you don't understand science. So you have this like weird, like, maybe they'll let me play. So I came back and he was cutting my stitches out, and I go, so can I play football? And he's like, no, dude. He's like, you can't play football, you can't play basketball. And he just starts telling me, he goes, but if you want, you can play golf.
The one sport
The
that
one, I
caused
was
that.
like, I don't, okay.
That's pretty ironic.
Yeah, but it's yeah, it was a weird thing. But again, the best thing to ever happen to me, because it turned me on to this life of debauchery that has become
That's good.
pretty great.
All right. Well, this is a last segment I do. It's called Misery Loves Company, where people send in their embarrassing stories. And we
Okay.
read it. So this one looks good because it says Buffalo Wild Wings. A Buffalo Wild Wings on Thursday. If you don't know, half off wings. Not a sponsor. Okay. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings at the mall and really needed to use the bathroom. But it was a disaster, so I had to wait for them to clean it. While I was waiting, my friend somehow managed to get us kicked out of the mall. So the Buffalo Wild Wings is in a mall.
I mean, that's fair.
Managed to get us kicked out of the mall for being too rowdy. We had to leave, and I still had to go to the bathroom. Desperate, I ran across the parking lot to another restaurant, but didn't make it in time. On a freezing snowy day, I ended up doing the unthinkable, going number 2 between 2 cars in a lot. Definitely not my finest moment.
Okay, well, this is for sure a girl. Because no dude would be embarrassed by this.
That's true.
A dude would be like, yeah, one time I took a shit between 2 cars. What of it?
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
You know what? Every embarrassing story, they're all shit stories. I keep getting poop. Everyone sends in poop stories.
I mean, that's kind of the most embarrassing.
I guess, right?
I mean, because the rest of it you can wear. The rest of it you're like, yeah, you can call me all the names in the world, or I can say the wrong person's name, and that's fine. But you shit your pants. Like, that's a dark day.
That's nothing you want someone to
feel
see.
Good. Yeah. I mistrusted a fart a couple weeks ago. I'll readily admit that. I'm like, damn you, fart. I trusted you. And the rest of the day, you're just like, I'm a piece of shit. I can't even. And everyone does it. No one will admit it. Some people admit it. My sister talks about it too much. But
I'll throw away the whole outfit if that happens. It's all gone now. It's all
yeah,
contained.
you're just like, man, well, going to the bathroom. See you later. I did it on a plane once. I was sick, so it's fair.
No.
But I had just gotten over the flu. This was years ago. And I woke up and I was like, I got a fart. And I was like, shit. And like, it was bad. And it was luckily one of the few flights that I had carried on.
Thank God.
So, but there is some dude somewhere telling the story about a guy who for no reason gets up, changes pants, and then goes back to sleep.
Yeah.
And that story is 100% about me.
On the plane would be rough.
I sleep well on planes now, and it's all because I train my body I would just drink until like, I don't know, an hour before I was supposed to be picked up. Mm-hmm. And then I would come home, I would pack, and then I would get on the plane, and then I would my body would just shut down on planes. And now if I get on a plane, it's Pavlovian, no matter how sober I am. At least for like 10 minutes.
You trained yourself.
But there was one. This is one time I was in LAX. It was so long ago. It was on a U.S. Airways flight. I'm sitting on the window and I just get on the plane and pass out. And I wake up in the middle of a fart. Like, and when I say in the middle of, like, it's been happening, it's happening, and it's gonna happen for a little bit longer. And I'm just, you're just kind of giggling. You're like, yeah. And then I open my eyes and I see the back of an airline seat. And like, I clenched so fast that like you heard the fart, like it raised pitch. Yeah, like, whoop. And I was like, oh. And I look over and the seat next to me is empty. But the seat on the aisle has this older woman in it, and she is like, and I just woke up and I just looked over and I just went right back to sleep.
It's so funny.
But yeah, shitting. First off, look, if you were at a Buffalo Wild Wings, this was gonna happen. Mm. And that's, what the hell happened that you got kicked out of a B-dubs, first off?
That's what I want to know.
Because I've been in there and there have been some pretty rambunctious folks and they're like, you're cool.
Yeah, you kind of have to be like that to get allowed in.
Yeah, someone threw a sauce. For sure. Like someone had to clean something up. But the only problem with her story was that it was frozen.
Oh.
And it was that cold.
Yeah.
So first off, there was steam.
I've only seen snow once, so I couldn't even think about steam.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, it's so cold that it's literally a steaming pile of shit.
Ew!
And so they know where she is.
It's like a signal. Yeah.
It's like one of those Disney smoke where it's the fingers and it's just.
It's the best part of taking your dog to shit in the snow.
Yeah, it's just like, watch it fizz.
Whoa.
And then, and you know it because it's froze, so now it's there for a few hours with like a little glaze.
Can you bury it? Make a snowman over
Like
it?
your dog does?
Yeah. I guess I'd rather be in snow than like cement.
Oh, yeah.
That's like...
Because it's there.
It's right there. No, maybe some heat steam.
But also that's like, look, there are a lot of women that want you to believe that they've never farted or burped, and God bless them. But there is something about a woman that does, and it's pretty great when you're just sitting there and you're just, and you look over at them and they're just like, sup.
Fist bump.
Fist bump.
Oh my God.
Does Matt like the fist bumps?
I actually hold mine in until I fall asleep, and then since I hold them in all day, I sleep fart.
Oh yeah.
And then
that's how he knows you're asleep. It's just you just deflate like a balloon.
That's why I'm bloated all day. Just slowly goes down. And he's like, just fart. And I'm like, no.
I'm waiting for my girlfriend to do it. She hasn't. My girlfriend is very much like, you will never hear it. I've heard it.
Yeah, see? Even as much as I try to hide it, they've heard it.
You listen, hotels are confined spaces.
Yep,
and there's
thin
only
walls.
so much you can do. But I'll tell you what, it made me love her more.
Yeah.
She doesn't know I know that it happens. And she was sick also.
Okay.
So like it was not of her own volition.
Yep.
It wasn't just a day-to-day fart. This was like medical.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's just there's a level of comfortability. Also, my sister is just a fucking. I really feel like she holds them in until we meet.
I love that because you guys are older. Like when my brother and I were little, we were, oh my God, monsters to each other.
Yeah.
Like, but that she still does that is beautiful.
Oh, she'll get in my car. She'll have been waiting outside for me for 5 minutes, and I'll pull up and I'll get in and I'll be like, "Are you fucking serious?" She's like, "I didn't feel it coming." Yeah, all right.
Okay. All right. Well, wait, I was going to ask your plugs. You and your sister do a podcast together, right?
We bringing it back. As a matter of fact, I got to edit these pods. It's called the 1 Millionth Podcast. We're going to bring it back. It'll be out, I think, next week. I don't know when this comes out.
It'll definitely be out next week from this.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be this week. It's called the 1 Millionth Podcast. It's me and my sister getting high and just talking, basically. And then all my dates, chrisportercomedy.com.
Mm-hmm. He's always on the road.
Always on the road.
Always on the road.
This week, which will be next week, is Sunnyvale, California. I'll be at Rooster Teeth Feathers. And then next week, the actual next week from when you're seeing this, I'll be in Tennessee doing Memphis on the 1st, Nashville 2nd and 3rd, and then I go to Albany, New York.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's like, yay.
Oh, that'll be fun, though.
Yeah.
End on a low note.
Yeah, just a fun weekend and then a mall.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for doing it. And then if you have time for a Patreon segment.
Sure.
All right. Well, follow us on Patreon. Bye.